Hansel and Gretel, a fairy opera in 3 acts by Adelheid Wette and Engelbert Humperdinck.
Argument. Hansel and Gretel is an opera in 3 acts, the music by Engelbert Humperdinck and the libretto by Adelheid Wette. It is the German version of the old nursery legend, Babes in the Wood. The first scene discloses a wretched homestead. The 2 children, Hansel and Gretel, are at work, the boy making brooms and the girl knitting stockings. They both complain of feeling very hungry, and there isn't a thing in the house. Yes, there is a jug of milk that will make nice blancmange when the mother comes home. Hansel tastes it, and Gretel rubs his fingers. He says he won't work anymore and proposes they dance instead. Gretel is delighted. He is very awkward at first, but she teaches him the steps, and they are getting along so famously that they whirl around the room and fall exhausted on the floor. At this moment, the mother enters, and she's so angry at seeing them do no work that she boxes their ears for it. In her excitement, she gives the milk pitcher a push. It falls off the table, breaks in pieces, and spills all the milk. At this, she is beside herself and seizes a basket and tells the children to go to the wood and pick strawberries. They must not come home until the basket is full. They run off while she, weary of life, sits sobbing herself to sleep. The father is heard in the distance with a joyous song and enters in a joyful mood. He wakes up his unhappy wife to tell that he has sold all his brooms at the fair for splendid prices, and he shows his basket full of provisions. Both are thus in fine humor when he asks where the children are. She says she sent them away in disgrace to the Ilsenstein. The Ilsenstein, he exclaims, where the witches ride on broomsticks and devour little children? Exclaiming, "Oh horror!" she runs out of the house, he after her, to find Hansel and Gretel. The second act shows a forest. Gretel is making a garland of wild roses while Hansel is looking for strawberries. In the background is the Ilsenstein. It is sunset. Hansel crowns Gretel queen of the wood, and she allows him to taste a strawberry. He gives her one in return, and little by little they devour them all. Then they are frightened. They want to pick more, but it's getting too dark. They want to leave, but cannot find the way. Gretel fears being in the dark, but Hansel is very brave. She sees faces in trees and stumps, and he calls out to reassure her. Echo answers, and he grows frightened too. They huddle together as a thick mist arises which hides the background. Gretel, terror-stricken, falls on her knees and hides behind Hansel. At this moment a little man appears, as the mist rises and quiets them. It is the Sandman, and he sings them to slumber. Half awake, they say their evening prayer and sink down on the moss in each other's arm. A dazzling light then appears. The mist rolls itself into a staircase, and angels pass down and group themselves about the 2 sleeping children. In the third act, the scene is the same, the mist still hiding the background. The dawn fairy shakes dewdrops on the children. They wake, but Hansel very lazily. They both have had dreams of angels coming to see them with shining wings. The mist now clears away, and in the background is seen the witch's house with a fence of gingerbread figures. There are also seen an oven and a cage. Hansel wants to go inside and Gretel draws him back. But Hansel says the angels beguiled their footsteps and why shouldn't they nibble a bit at the cottage? They tiptoe to the fence and break off a bit of the cake cautiously. The witch voice from within tells them to go on nibbling. They like the gingerbread. It suits them famously, and apparently suits her too, as she watches them from her window. But she comes out of the house as they are joyously laughing and throws a rope about Hansel's neck and caresses them. Hansel tries to get away and calls her names, while she goes on saying how she loves them both. They are such dainty morsels. Hansel tries to run away and takes Gretel with him, but the witch casts a spell on them and they stand stock still. Then she leads Hansel to the cage and shuts him in and gives him almonds and raisins to fatten him up. She loosens Gretel with a magic stick and says how nice and plump she will be when she is roasted brown. She opens the oven and puts more faggots under it, and says the fire will soon be ripe to push Gretel in. In her joy, she rides wildly round on a broomstick while Gretel watches from the house. The witch calls Gretel out and opens the oven door. Hansel tells Gretel to beware, and the witch tells her to peep in the oven. Gretel pretends she does not understand. She secretly disenchants Hansel so that when the witch bends over and peeps into the oven, they give her a push and in she goes. Then they dance wildly about. Hansel throws sweetmeats out of the window. The oven cracks open and falls into bits, while groups of children suddenly surround Hansel and Gretel. Then they disenchant the gingerbread children, who are very grateful. As they are all dragging the gingerbread witch about, the father and mother come in and are overjoyed at finding their children again. Dramatis Personae.
Peter the broom maker, husband of Gertrude, father of Hansel and Gretel. Read by Alan Mapstone.
Gertrude, wife of Peter, mother of Hansel and Gretel. Read by the Countess.
Hansel, read by Val Roth.
Gretel, read by Nora Nelson.
The Witch, read by Sonia.
Sandman, read by David Purdy.
Dooman, read by Major Toast.
Children, read by
Brian Fallon.
The 14 Angels.
End of Playbill.
Hänsel and Gretel, a fairy opera in 3 acts, by Adelheid Wette and Engelbert Humperdinck. Hänsel and Gretel, Act 1. At home. Scene 1. Small, poorly furnished room. In the background, a door. A small window near it with a view into the forest. On the left, a fireplace with chimney above it. On the walls, many brooms of various sizes. Hansel sits near the door, making brooms, and Gretel opposite him by the fireplace, knitting a stocking.
Susie, little Susie, pray what is the news? The geese are running barefoot because they've no shoes. The cobbler has leather and plenty to spare. Why can't he make the poor goose a new pair?
Then they'll have to go barefoot. Aya, papaya, pray what's to be done? Who'll give me milk and sugar? For bread I have none. I'll go back to bed and I'll lie there all day. Where there's naught to eat, then there's nothing to pay.
Then we'll have to go hungry.
If mother would only come home again. Yes, I am so hungry, I don't know what to do. For weeks I've eaten naught but bread. It's very hard, it is indeed.
Hush, Hansel, don't forget what father said, when mother too wished she were dead. When past bearing is our grief, then 'tis heaven will send relief.
Yes, yes, that sounds all very fine, but you know off Maxims we cannot dine. Oh, Gret, it would be such a treat if we had something nice to eat. Eggs and butter and suet paste. I've almost forgotten how they taste. Oh, Gretel, I wish.
Hush, don't give way to grumps. Have patience a while, no doleful dumps. This woeful face, whew, what a sight! Looks like a horrid crosspatch fright. Crosspatch away, leave me, I pray. Just let me reach you, quickly I'll teach you how to make trouble soon mount to double. Crosspatch, crosspatch, what is the use? Growling and grumbling, full of abuse. Off with you, out with you, shame on you, goose.
Crosspatch away, hard lines, I say. When I am hungry, surely I can say so. Cannot delay so, can't chase away so.
If I am hungry, I'll never say so. Will not give way so, chase it away so. That's right. Now if you leave off complaining, I'll tell you a most delightful secret.
Oh, delightful! It must be something nice.
Well, listen, brotherkin, won't you be glad? Look here in the jug, here's fresh milk. 'Twas given today by our neighbor. And mother, when she comes back home, will certainly make us a rice blancmange.
Hansel joyfully dances round the room.
Rice blancmange? When blancmange is anywhere near, then Hansel, Hansel, Hansel is there. How thick is the cream on the milk? Let's taste it. Oh, Gemini, wouldn't I like to drink it?
Tasting it.
What? Hansel tasting? Aren't you ashamed? Out with your fingers, quick, greedy boy.
Gives him a rap on the fingers.
Get back to your work again. Be quick, that we may both have done in time. If mother comes and we haven't done right, then badly it will fare with us tonight.
Work again? No, not for me. That's not my idea at all. It doesn't suit me. It's such a bore. Dancing is jollier far, I'm sure.
Dancing, dancing, oh yes, that's better far. And sing a song to keep us in time, one that our grandmother used to sing us. Sing then and dance in time to the singing.
Claps her hands.
Brother, come and dance with me. Both my hands I offer thee. Right foot first, left foot then, round about and back again.
Hansel tries to do it, but awkwardly.
I would dance, but don't know how, when to jump and when to bow. Show me what I ought to do, so that I may dance like you.
With your foot you tap, tap, tap. With your hands you clap, clap, clap. Right foot first, left foot then, round about and back again.
With your hands you clap, clap, clap. With your foot you tap, tap, tap. Right foot first, left foot then, round about and back again.
That was very good indeed. Oh, I'm sure you'll soon succeed. Try again, and I can see Hansel soon will dance like me.
Claps her hands.
With your head you nick, nick, nick. With your fingers you click, click, click. Right foot first, left foot then, round about and back again.
With your head you nick, nick, nick. With your fingers you click, click, click. Right foot first, left foot then, round about and back again.
Brother, watch what next I do. You must do it with me too. You to me your arm must proffer. I shall not refuse your offer. Come!
What I enjoy is dance and jollity.
Love to have my fling. In fact, I like frivolity and all that kind of thing. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. Come and have a twirl, my dearest Hansel. Come and have a turn with me, I pray. Come here to me, come here to me. I'm sure you can't say nay.
Go away from me, go away from me. I'm much too proud for you. With little girls I do not dance, and so, my dear, adieu.
Go, stupid Hans, conceited Hans. You'll see I'll make you dance. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. Come and have a twirl, my dearest Hansel. Come and have a turn with me, I pray.
Oh, Gretel dear, oh, sister dear, your stocking has a hole.
Oh, Hansel dear, oh, brother dear, do you take me for a fool? With naughty boys I do not dance, and so, my dear, adieu.
Now don't be cross, you silly goose. You'll see I make you dance.
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. Come and have a twirl, my dearest Hansel. Come and have a turn with me, I pray. Sing lustily, hurrah, hurrah. Will I dance with you? And if the stockings are in holes, why, mother'll knit some new.
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, tra-la-la. Sing lustily, hurrah, hurrah, while I dance with you. And if the shoes are all in holes, why, mother'll buy some new. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, tra-la-la.
They dance round each other as before. They then seize each other's hands and go round in a circle, quicker and quicker, until at length they lose their balance and tumble over one another on the floor. Scene 2. At this moment the door opens, the mother appears, whereupon the children jump up quickly.
Hello.
Heavens! Here's Mother!
What's all this disturbance?
'Twas Hansel. He wanted...
'Twas Gretel. She said I...
Silence, idle and ill-behaved children.
The mother comes in, unstraps the basket and puts it down.
Can't you at working, yodeling and singing, as though 'twere fair time, hopping and springing? And while your parents from early morning till late at night are slaving and toiling? Take that!
Gives Hansel a box on the ear.
Now come, let's see what you've done. Why, Gretel, your stocking not ready yet? And you lazy bones, have you nothing to show? Pray, how many besoms have you finished? I'll fetch my stick, you useless children, and make your idle fingers tingle.
In her indignation at the children, she gives the milk jug a push so that it falls off the table with a smash.
Gracious! There goes the jug, all to pieces. What now can I cook for supper?
She looks at her dress, down which the milk is streaming. Hansel covertly titters.
How saucy! How dare you laugh?
Goes with a stick after Hansel, who runs out at the open door.
Wait till the father comes home.
With sudden energy, she snatches a basket from the wall and pokes it into Gretel's hands.
Off to the wood. There, seek for strawberries. Quick, away! And if you don't bring the basket brimful, I'll whip you so that you'll both run away.
The children run off into the wood. She sits down exhausted by the table.
Alas, there my poor jug lies all in pieces. Yes, blind excitement only brings ruin. Oh, heaven, send help to me. Not if I to give them. No bread, not a crumb for my starving children. No crust in the cupboard, no milk in the pot.
Resting her head on her hands.
Weary am I, weary of living. Father, send help to me.
Lays her head down on her arm and drops to sleep. Scene 3. A voice is heard in the distance.
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, little mother, here I am. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, bringing luck and jollity.
Rather nearer.
Oh, for you and me, poor mother, every day is like the other, with a big hole in the purse, and in the stomach and even worse. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, hunger is the poor man's curse. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, hunger is the poor man's curse.
The father appears at the window, and during the following he comes into the room in a very happy mood, with a basket on his back.
'Tisn't much that we require, just a little food and fire. But alas, it's true enough, life on some of us is rough. Hunger is a customer tough. Yes, the rich enjoys his dinner, while the poor grows daily thinner. Strives to eat as well he may, somewhat less than yesterday. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, hunger is the devil to pay. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, hunger is the devil to pay.
He puts down his basket.
Yes, hunger's all very well to feel, if you can get a good square meal. But when there's naught, what can you do, supposing the purse be empty too? Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, oh, for a drop of mountain dew. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, mother, look what I have brought.
Reels over to his sleeping wife and gives her a smacking kiss. Mother rubbing her eyes.
Oh, home! Who singing all round the house and tra-la-laing me out of my sleep?
How now? The hungry beast within my breast calls so for food I could not rest. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, hunger is an urgent beast. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, pinches, gnaws, and gives no rest.
So, and this wild beast, you gave him a feast. He's had his fill, to say the least.
Well, yes, it was a lovely day, don't you think so, dear wife?
Wants to kiss her. Mother pushing him angrily away, excitedly.
Have done. You've no troubles to bear, 'tis I must keep the house.
Well, then let us see, my dear, what we have got to eat today.
Most simple is the bill of fare. Our supper's gone, I know not where. Larder bear, cellar bear, nothing and plenty of it to spare.
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, cheer up, mother, for here am I, bringing luck and jollity.
He takes his basket and begins to display the contents.
Look, mother, doesn't all this food please you?
Man, what's the eye? Ham and butter, flour and sausage, eggs, a dozen. Husband, and they cost a fortune. Turnips, onions, and, for me, nearly half a pound of tea.
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, hip hurrah, won't we have a festive time?
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la, hip hooray, won't we have a festive time?
Tra-la-la, hip hurrah, won't we have a happy time?
Tra-la-la, hip hooray, won't we have a happy time?
Now listen how it all came about.
Now listen how it all came about.
Father turns the basket topsy-turvy and a lot of potatoes roll out. He seizes her by the arm and dances round the room. Sits down. Meanwhile, the mother packs away the things, lights a fire, breaks eggs into a saucepan, etc.
Yonder to the town I went. There was to be a great event. Weddings, fairs, and preparation for all kinds of jubilation. Now's my chance to do some selling, and for that you may be thankful. He who wants a feast to keep, he must scrub and brush and sweep. So I brought my best goods out, tramped with them from house to house. Buy besoms, good besoms, buy my brushes, sweep your carpets, sweep your cobwebs. And so I drove a roaring trade, and sold my brushes at the highest prices. Now make haste with cup and platter, bring the glasses, bring the kettle. Here's a health to the besom maker.
Here's health to the besom maker.
But stay, why, where are the children? Hansel, Gretel, what's gone with Hans?
Gone with Hans? Oh, who's to know? But at least I do know this, that the jug is smashed to bits.
What? The jug is smashed to bits?
And the cream all run away.
Father striking his fist on the table in a rage.
Hang it all! So those little scapegraces have been again in mischief.
Been in mischief? I should think so. Not had they done, but their mad pranking. As I came home, I could hear them hopping and cutting the wildest capers, till I was so cross I gave a push, and the jug of milk was spilt.
And the jug of milk was spilt. Ha 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 ha! Such anger, mother, don't take it ill. Seems stupid to me, I must say. But where think you the children can be?
For aught I know at the Ilsenstein.
The Ilsenstein? Come, have a care.
Fetches a broom from the wall.
The besom, just put it away again.
Father lets the broom fall and wrings his hands.
My children astray in the gloomy wood, all alone without moon or stars?
Oh, heaven!
Dost thou not know the awful magic place, the place where the evil one dwells?
The evil one? What meanest thou?
The gobbling ogress.
The mother draws back. The father takes up the broom again.
The gobbling ogress! But tell me, what help is the besom?
The besom, why, what is it for? They ride on it, the witches. An old witch within that wood doth dwell, and she's in league with the powers of hell. At midnight hour, when nobody knows, away to the witches' dance she goes. Up the chimney they fly, on a broomstick they hie, over hill and dale, or ravine and vale, through the midnight air they gallop full tear, on a broomstick, hop, 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 the witches.
Oh, horror! But the gobbling witch?
And by day, they say, she stalks around with a crinching, crunching, munching sound, and children plump and tender to eat she lures with magic gingerbread sweet. On evil bent, with fell intent, she lures the children, poor little things. In the oven red hot she pops all the lot. She shuts the lid down until they're done brown. In the oven. The gingerbread children.
And the gingerbread children?
Are served up for dinner.
For the ogress.
For the ogress.
Oh, horror! Heaven help us, the children! Oh, what shall we do?
Runs out of the house.
Hi, mother, wait for me.
Takes the whiskey bottle from the table and follows her.
We'll both go together, the witch to seek.
The curtain falls quickly. End of Act 1. Hansel and Gretel, a fairy opera in 3 acts, by Adelheid Wette and Engelbert Humperdinck. Act 2, in the forest. Scene 1. The curtain rises, the middle of the forest. In the background is the Ilsenstein, thickly surrounded by fir trees. On the right is a large fir tree, under which Gretel is sitting on a mossy tree trunk and making a garland of wild roses. By her side lies a nosegay of flowers. Amongst the bushes on the left is Hansel, looking for strawberries. Sunset. Gretel, humming quietly to herself.
There stands a little man in the wood alone. He wears a little mantle of velvet brown. Say, who can the man can be, standing there beneath the tree, with the little mantle of velvet brown? His hair is all of gold, and his cheeks are red. He wears a little black cap upon his head. Say, who can the man can be, standing there so silently, with the little black cap upon his head?
She holds up the garland of roses and looks it all round.
With the little black cap upon his head.
Hansel comes out swinging his basket joyfully.
Hurrah! My strawberry basket is nearly brimful. Oh, won't the mother be pleased with Hansel?
Gretel standing up.
My garland is ready also. Look, I never made one so nice before.
Tries to put the wreath on Hansel's head. Hansel drawing back roughly.
You won't catch a boy wearing that. It is only fit for a girl.
Puts the wreath on her.
Ha, Gretel! Fine feathers! Oh, the deuce, you shall be the queen of the wood.
If I am to be queen of the wood, then I must have a nosegay too.
Hansel gives her the nosegay.
Queen of the wood with scepter and crown, I give you the strawberries. But don't eat them all.
He gives the basket full of strawberries into her other hand, at the same time kneeling before her in homage. At this moment, the cuckoo is heard.
Cuckoo, cuckoo, how do you do?
Cuckoo, cuckoo, where are you?
Takes a strawberry from the basket and pokes it into Hansel's mouth. He sucks it up as though he were drinking an egg. Hansel jumping up.
Ho-ho! I can do that just like you.
Takes some strawberries and lets them fall into Gretel's mouth.
Let us do like the cuckoo too, who takes what doesn't belong to him.
It begins to grow dark. Hansel helping himself again.
Cuckoo, how are you?
Cuckoo, where are you?
In your neighbor's nest you go.
Gretel helping herself.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Cuckoo, why do you do so?
Pours a handful of strawberries into his mouth.
And you are very greedy too. Tell me, cuckoo, why are you?
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
They get rude and begin to quarrel for the strawberries. Hansel gains the victory and puts the whole basket to his mouth until it is empty. Gretel, horrified, clasping her hands together.
Hansel, what have you done? Oh, heaven, all the strawberries eaten! You glutton! Listen, you'll have a punishment from the mother. This passes a joke.
Now come, don't make such a fuss. You, Gretel, you did the same thing yourself.
Come, we'll hurry and seek for fresh ones.
What? Here in the dark under hedges and bushes? Why not can we see a fruit or leaves? It's getting dark already here.
Oh, Hansel, oh, what shall we do? What bad, disobedient children we've been. We ought to have thought and gone home sooner.
Cuckoo behind the scenes, rather nearer than before.
Cuckoo, cuckoo. Hark, what a noise in the bushes! Know you what the forest says? Children, children, it says. Are you not afraid?
Hansel spies all around uneasily. At last, he turns in despair to Gretel.
Gretel, I cannot find the way.
Gretel dismayed.
Oh, God, what say you? Not know the way?
Hansel pretending to be very brave.
Why, how ridiculous you are! I am a boy and know not fear.
Oh, Hansel, some dreadful thing may come.
Oh, Gretel, come. Don't be afraid.
What's glimmering there in the darkness?
That's only the birches and silver dress.
But there, what's grinning so there at me?
That's only the stump of a willow tree.
But what a dreadful form it takes, and what a horrid face it makes.
Come, I'll make faces. You, fellow, do you hear?
There, see, a lantern. It's coming this way.
Will-o'-the-wisp is hopping about. Gretel, come. Don't lose heart like this. Wait, I'll give a good loud call.
Goes back some steps to the back of the stage and calls through his hands.
Who's there?
You there.
The children cowered together.
Is someone there?
Where? Here.
Did you hear? A voice said here. Hansel, surely someone's near. I'm frightened. I wish I were home. I see the wood all filled with goblin forms.
Gretelkin, stick to me close and tight. I'll shelter you.
A thick mist rises and completely hides the background.
I see some shadowy women coming. See how they nod and beckon. They're coming. They'll take us away.
Crying out, rushes horror-struck under the tree and falls on her knees, hiding herself behind Hansel.
Father, mother, ah!
See there, the mankin, sister dear. I wonder who the mankin is.
At this moment, the mist lifts on the left. A little grey man is seen with a little sack on his back. Scene 2. Sandman, the sleep fairy. The little man approaches the children with friendly gestures, and the children gradually calm down. He is strewing sand in the children's eyes.
I shut the children's peepers, shh, and guard the little sleepers, shh, for dearly do I love them, shh, and gladly watch above them, shh, and with my little bag of sand, by every child's bedside I stand. Then little tired eyelids close, and little limbs have sweet repose. And if they're good and quickly go to sleep, then from the starry sphere above the angels come with peace and love, and send the children happy dreams, while watch they keep. Then slumber, children, slumber, for happy dreams are sent to you, through the hours you sleep.
Disappears. Darkness. Hansel half asleep. Gretel, ditto.
Sandman was there.
Let us first say our evening prayer.
They cower down and fold their hands.
When at night I go to sleep, 14 angels watch to keep. Two my head are guarding, two my feet are guiding. Two are on my right hand, two are on my left hand. Two who warmly cover, two who o'er me hover. Two to whom 'tis given to guide my steps to heaven.
They sink down on the moss and go to sleep with their arms twined round each other, complete darkness. Scene 3. Here a bright light suddenly breaks through the mist, which forthwith rolls itself together into the form of a staircase, vanishing in perspective in the middle of the stage. 14 angels in light floating garments pass down the staircase, 2 and 2 at intervals, while it is getting gradually lighter. The angels place themselves according to the order mentioned in the evening hymn, around the sleeping children. The first couple at their heads, the second at their feet, the third on the right, the fourth on the left. The fifth and sixth couples distribute themselves amongst the other couples, so that their circle of the angels is completed. Lastly, the seventh couple comes into the circle and takes its place as guardian angels on each side of the children. The remaining angels now join hands and dance a stately step around the group. The whole stage is filled with an intense light. Whilst the angels arrange themselves in a picturesque tableau, the curtain slowly falls. End of Act 2. Hansel and Gretel, a fairy opera in 3 acts, by Adelheid Wette and Engelbert Humperdinck. Act 3. The Witch's House. Scene 1. The curtain rises. Scene the same as the end of Act 2. The background is still hidden in mist, which gradually rises during the following. The angels have vanished. Morning is breaking. The dawn fairy steps forward and shakes dewdrops from a bluebell over the sleeping children. Dewman, dawn fairy.
I'm up with early dawning, and know who loves the morning. Who'll rise fresh as a daisy, who'll sink in slumber lazy. Ding dong, and with the golden light of day, I chase the fading night away. Fresh dew around me shaking, and hill and dale awaking. Then up with all your powers, enjoy the morning hours, the scent of trees and flowers. Then up, ye sleepers, awaken, the rosy dawn is smiling. Then up, ye sleepers, awake, awake.
Hurries off singing. The children begin to stir. Gretel rubs her eyes. looks around her and raises herself a little, whilst Hansel turns over on the other side to go to sleep again.
Where am I? Waking, or do I dream? How come I in the wood to lie? High in the branches I hear a gentle twittering. Birds are beginning to sing so sweetly. From early dawn they are all awake, and warble their morning hymn of praise. Dear little singers, good morning.
Turns to Hansel.
See there, the sleepy lazybones. Wait now, I'll wake him. Tirrally, it's getting late. Tirrally, it's getting late. The lark his flight is winging, on high his matins singing. Tirrally.
Hansel suddenly jumps up with a start.
Kikeriki, it's early yet. Kikeriki, it's early yet. Yes, the day is dawning. Awake, for it is morning. Kikeriki, I feel so well, I know not why. I never slept so well. No, not I.
But listen, Hans, here 'neath the tree, a wondrous dream was sent to me.
Really? I too had a dream.
I fancied I heard a murmuring and rushing, as though the angels in heaven were singing. Rosy clouds above me were floating, hovering and floating in the distance away. Sudden, all around a light was streaming, rays of glory from heaven beaming, and a golden ladder saw I descending, angels adown it gliding, such lovely angels, with shining, golden wings.
14 angels there must have been.
And did you also behold all this?
Truly, 'twas wondrous fair, and upward I saw them float.
He turns towards the background. At this moment, the last remains of the mist clear away. In place of the fir trees is seen the witch's house at the Ilsenstein, shining in the rays of the rising sun. A little distance off, to the left, is an oven. Opposite this, on the right, a large cage, both joined to the witch's house by a fence of gingerbread figures. Scene 2. Gretel holds Hansel back in astonishment.
Stand still! Be still!
Oh, heaven! What wondrous place is this? As ne'er in all my life have I seen.
Gretel gradually regains her self-possession.
What odor delicious! Oh, say, do I dream?
A cottage all made of chocolate cream. The roof is all covered with Turkish delight. The windows with luster of sugar are white, and on all the gables the raisins invite. And think, all around is a gingerbread hedge. Oh, magic castle, how nice you'd be to eat! Where hides the princess who has so great a treat? Ah, could she but visit our little cottage bare, she'd ask us to dinner, her dainties to share.
Hansel, after a while.
No sound do I hear. No, nothing is stirring. Come, let's go inside.
Gretel, pulling him back, horrified.
Are you senseless? Hansel, however can you make so bold? Who knows who may live there in that lovely house?
Oh, look, do look how the house seems to smile. Ah, the angels did our footsteps beguile.
The angels? Yes, it must be so.
Yes, Gretel, the angels are beckoning us in. Come, let's nibble a bit on the cottage. Come, let's nibble it, like two mice persevering.
They hop along, hand in hand, towards the back of the stage. Then stand still, and then steal along cautiously on tiptoe to the house. After some hesitation, Hansel breaks off a bit of cake from the right-hand corner. Scene 3. A voice from the house.
Nibble, nibble, mousekin. Who's nibbling at my housekin? Who's nibbling at my housekin?
Hansel starts, and in his fright lets the piece of cake fall.
Oh, did you hear?
Gretel, somewhat timidly.
The wind.
The wind! The heavenly wind!
Gretel picks up the piece of cake and tastes it. Hansel, looking longingly at Gretel.
Do you like it?
Gretel lets Hansel bite it.
Just taste and try it.
Hansel lays his hand on his breast in rapture. Gretel, ditto.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
Oh,
oh, cake most delicious. Some more I must take. It's really like heaven to eat such plum cake. Oh, how good, how sweet, how tasty.
How tasty, how sweet. It's perhaps the house of the sweetie maker.
Hi, sweetie maker, have a care. A little mouse your sweeties would share.
He breaks a big piece of cake off the wall.
Nibble, nibble, mousekin, who's nibbling at my housekin?
The wind, the heavenly wind.
The upper part of the house door opens gently, and the witch's head is seen at it. The children at first do not see her, and go on feasting merrily.
Wait, you gobbling mousekin. Here comes the cat from the housekin.
Hansel taking another bite.
Eat what you please and leave me in peace.
Gretel snatches the piece from his hand.
Don't be unkind, Sir Wind. Sir Wind.
Hansel takes it back from her.
Heavenly wind, I take what I find.
The witch, who had meanwhile opened the hall door, and had been warily stealing up to the children, throws a rope round the neck of Hansel, who, without any misgivings, turns his back to her. Hansel, horror-struck.
Let go! Who are you? Let me go!
The witch, drawing the children towards her.
Angels both, and goosey ganders.
Caresses the children.
You've come to visit me, that is sweet, you charming children, so nice to eat.
Hansel makes despairing efforts to free himself.
Who are you, ugly one? Let me go!
Now, darling, don't you give yourself airs. Dear heart, what makes you say such things? I am Rosina Daintymouth, and dearly love my fellow man. I'm artless as a newborn child. That's why the children to me are so dear, so dear, so dear, so charming to eat.
Caresses Hansel. Hansel turning roughly away.
Go! Get you gone from my sight! I loathe you quite!
These dainty morsels I'm really gloating on, and you, my little maiden, I'm doting on. Come, little mousie, come into my housie, come with me, my precious. I'll give you sweetmeats delicious, of chocolate, tarts, and marzipan. You shall both eat all you can, and wedding cake and strawberry ices, blancmange and everything else that nice is, and raisins and almonds, and peaches and citrons are waiting. You'll both find it quite captivating. Yes, quite captivating.
I won't come with you, hideous fright. You are quite too friendly.
See, how sly. Dear children, you really may trust me in this, and living with me will be perfect bliss. Come, little mousie, come into my housie. Come with me, my precious. I'll give you sweetmeats delicious.
But say, what will you with my brother do?
Well, I'll feed and fatten him up well with every sort of dainty delicious to make him tender and tasty, and if he's brave and patient too, and docile and obedient like a lamb, then, Hansel, I'll whisper it you, I'll have a great treat in store for you.
Then speak out loud and whisper not. What is the great treat in store for me?
Yes, my dear children, hearing and sight in this great pleasure will disappear quite.
Both my hearing and seeing are good. You better take care you do me no harm. Gretel, trust not her flattering words. Come, sister, come, let's run away.
He has, in the meantime, got out of the rope and runs with Gretel to the foreground. Here they are stopped by the witch, who imperiously raises against them both a stick which hangs at her girdle, with repeated gestures of spellbinding.
Hold!
The stage becomes gradually darker.
Hocus pocus, witch's charm, move not as you fear my arm, back or forward do not try, fix it you are by the evil eye. Head and shoulders fixed awry, hocus pocus, now comes jokers, children watch the magic head, eyes are staring, dull as lead, now you atom, off to bed.
Fresh gestures. Then she leads Hansel, who is gazing fixedly at the illuminated head, into the stable, and shuts the lattice door upon him.
Hocus pocus, bonus jokers, malus locus, hocus pocus, bonus jokers, malus locus.
The stage gradually becomes lighter, whilst the light of the magic head diminishes. The witch, contentedly to Gretel, who still stands there motionless.
Now, Gretel, be obedient and wise, while Hansel's growing fat and nice. We'll feed him up, you'll see my reason, and with sweet almonds and raisins season. I'll go indoors, the things to prepare, and you remain here where you are.
She grins as she holds up her finger warningly and goes into the house. Gretel, stiff and motionless.
Oh, what a horrid witch she is.
Gretel, shush! Don't speak so loud. Be very sharp. Watch well and see whatever she may do to me. Pretend to do all she commands. Oh, there she's coming back. Shh, hush!
The witch comes out, satisfies herself that Gretel is still standing motionless, and then spreads before Hansel almonds and raisins from a basket.
Now, little man, come, prithee, enjoy yourself.
Sticking a raisin into Hansel's mouth.
Eat, minion, eat or die. Here are cakes, oh, so nice.
Turns to Gretel and disenchants her with a juniper branch.
Hocus pocus, elder bush, rigid body loosen, hush.
Gretel moves again.
Now up and move again, bright and blithesome. Limbs are become again supple and lithesome. Go, my poppet, go, my pet. You the table now shall set. Little knife, little fork, little dish, little plate, little serviette for my little mate. Now get everything ready and nice, or else I shall lock you up too in a trice.
She threatens and titters. Gretel hurries off. The witch to Hansel, who pretends to be asleep.
The fool is slumbering. It does seem queer how youth can sleep and have no fear. Well, sleep away, you simple sheep. Soon you will sleep your last long sleep. But first with Gretel I'll begin. Of you, dear maiden, I will dine. You are so tender, plump, and good, just the thing for witches' food.
She opens the oven door and sniffs in it, her face lighted up by the deep red glare of the fire.
The dough has risen, so we'll go on preparing. Hark, how the sticks in the fire are crackling.
She pushes a couple more faggots under. The fire flames up and then dies down again. The witch rubbing her hands with glee.
Yes, Gretel mine, how well of you I'll dine. See, see, oh, how sly! When in the oven she's peeping, quickly behind her I'm creeping. One little push, bang goes the door, clang! Then soon will Gretel be just done to a T. And when from the oven I take her, she'll look like a cake from the baker, by magic fire red, changed into gingerbread. See, see how sly!
In her wild delight, she seizes a broomstick and begins to ride upon it.
So, hop, 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 gallop, lop, lop, my broomstick nag, come, do not lag.
She rides excitedly round on the broomstick.
At dawn of day I ride away, am here and there and everywhere.
She rides again. Gretel, meanwhile, is watching at the window.
At midnight hour, when none can know, to join the witches' dance I go. And 3 and 4 are witches' lore, and 5 and 6 are witches' tricks, and 9 is 1, and 10 is none, and 7 is nil, or what she will. And thus they ride till dawn of day.
Hopping madly along, she rides to the back of the stage and vanishes for a time behind the cottage. Here the witch becomes visible again. She comes to the foreground, where she suddenly pulls up and dismounts.
Brrr, broomstick, hee!
She hobbles back to the stable and tickles Hansel with a birch twig till he awakes.
Up, awake, my mannikin young! Come, show to me your tongue.
Hansel puts his tongue out. The witch smacks with her tongue.
Dainty morsel, little toothsome mannikin, come, now let me see your thumb.
Hansel pokes out a small bone.
Gemini, oh ho! Oh, how scraggy, how lean! Urchin, you're a scraggy one, as bad as a skeleton.
Calls.
Maiden, Gretel,
Gretel appears at the door.
bring some raisins and almonds sweet. Hansel wants some more to eat.
Gretel runs into the house and returns immediately with a basket full of almonds and raisins.
Here are the almonds.
Whilst the witch is feeding Hansel, Gretel gets behind her and makes the gestures of disenchantment with the juniper branch.
Hocus pocus, elderbush, rigid body loosen, hush!
The witch turning suddenly around.
What were you saying, little goose?
Only, much good may it do to Hans.
Eh?
Much good may it do to Hans.
My little miss, I'll stop your mouth with this.
Sticks a raisin into Gretel's mouth.
Eat, minion, eat or die. Here are cakes, oh so nice.
She opens the oven door. The heat has apparently diminished. Meanwhile, Hansel makes violent signs to Gretel. Hansel softly opening the stable door.
Sister dear, oh beware!
The witch looking greedily at Gretel.
She makes my mouth water, this pretty little daughter. Come, Gretel mine, sugar maiden mine.
Gretel comes towards her.
Peep in the oven, be steady. See if the gingerbread's ready. Carefully look, pet, whether it's cooked yet. But if it wants more, shut quick the door.
Gretel hesitates. Hansel slipping out of the stable.
Sister dear, have a care!
Gretel making herself out very awkward.
I don't understand what I have to do.
Just stand on tiptoe, head bending forward. Try it, I pray. It's merely play.
Hansel pulling Gretel back by her frock.
Sister dear, now take care!
I'm such a goose. Don't understand? You'll have to show me how to stand on tiptoe.
The witch makes a movement of impatience.
Do as I say, it's merely play.
She begins creeping up to the oven, muttering all the time, and just as she is bending over it, Hansel and Gretel give her a good push, which sends her toppling over into it, upon which they quickly shut the door. Hansel and Gretel mocking her.
Then one little push, bang, goes the door, clang. You not Gretel, then will be just done to a T.
Hansel and Gretel fall into one another's arms.
Hooray! Now sing, the witch is dead, really dead, no more to dread. Hooray! Now sing, the witch is still, deathly still, we can eat our fill. Now all the spell is o'er, really o'er, we fear no more.
They seize each other's hands.
Yes, let us happy be, dancing so merrily. Now the old witch is gone, we'll have no end of fun. Hey, hurrah, hurrah! Hip hurrah, hurrah!
They take each other round the waist and waltz together, first in the front of the stage, and then gradually in the direction of the witch's house. When they get there, Hansel breaks loose from Gretel and rushes into the house, shutting the door after him. Then, from the upper window, he throws down apples, pears, oranges, gilded nuts, and all kinds of sweetmeats into Gretel's outstretched apron. Meanwhile, the oven begins cracking loudly, and the flames burn high. Then there is a loud crash, and the oven falls thundering into bits. Hansel and Gretel, who in their terror let their sweetmeats all fall down, hurry towards the oven startled, and stand there motionless. Their astonishment increases when they become aware of a troop of children around them, whose disguise of cakes has fallen from them.
There, see those little children dear, I wonder how they all came here.
Scene 4. The gingerbread children, motionless and with closed eyes, as the cake figures were before.
We're saved, we're freed, forevermore.
Your eyes are shut. Pray, who are you? You're sleeping, and yet you're singing too.
Oh, touch us, we pray, that we may all awake.
Oh, touch them for me, I dare not try.
Yes, let me stroke this innocent face.
She caresses the nearest child, who opens its eyes and smiles.
Oh, touch me too, oh, touch me too, that I also may awake.
Gretel goes and caresses all the rest of the children, who open their eyes and smile without moving. Meanwhile, Hansel seizes the juniper branch.
Hocus pocus, elder bush, rigid body, loosen, hush.
Some of the children jump up and hurry towards Hansel and Gretel from all sides.
We thank you both. The spell is broke and we are free. We'll sing and we'll dance and we'll shout for glee. Come, children all, and form a ring. Join hands together while we sing. Then sing in spring, then dance and sing. For cakes and all good things we bring. Then sing in spring, then dance and sing. That through the wood our song of praise may sound, and echo repeated all around. We thank, we thank, we thank.
The angels whispered in dreams to us in silent night what this happy, happy day has brought tonight.
4 gingerbread children at a time surround Hansel and Gretel and bow gracefully to them.
Ye angels, who've watched o'er our steps and led them right, we thank for all our joy and wondrous delight.
The gingerbread children who all press round Hansel and Gretel to shake hands with them.
We'll thank you both all our life.
Father behind the scene.
Tra-la-la, tra-la-la-la, we're our children only here. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la-la.
The father appears in the background with the mother and stops when he sees the children.
Oh, why, they're really there.
Last scene. Hansel running towards them. Gretel the same.
Father, mother!
Father,
children dear.
Oh, welcome, poor children innocent.
Joyfully embracing. Meanwhile, two of the boys have dragged the witch, in the form of a big gingerbread cake, out of the ruins of the magic oven. At the sight of her, they all burst into a shout of joy. The boys place the witch in the middle of the stage.
Children, see the wonder wrought, how the witch herself was caught, unaware, in the snare, laid for you with cunning rare.
See the wonder wrought, how the witch herself was caught, unaware, in the snare, laid for us with cunning rare.
The two boys drag the witch in the cottage.
Such is heaven's chastisement, evil works will have an end. When past bearing is our grief, then 'tis heaven will send us sure relief. When past bearing is our grief,
When past bearing is our grief,
then 'tis heaven will send relief.
then 'tis heaven will send relief.
End of Act 3. End of Hansel and Gretel, a fairy opera in 3 acts, by Adelheid Wette and Engelbert Humperdinck.